I would like to start off by saying that my focus is autism. So let's start off by saying, what is autism? Autism, or ASD, is a developmental disorder defined by difficulties in social interactions, communication, repetitive behavior. Autism is a spectrum, which means people with it can have a variety of symptoms or level of severity. Some frequent autistic indicators include trouble reading social cues, sustaining eye contact, difficulties with verbal and nonverbal communication, and of course engaging in repetitive behaviors or having narrow interests. However, for me, saying that is impossible because there's a variety of differences in every person. As an early child educator, there are some things to consider when having a child with autism in your care. Children with autism need individual support and different needs than other children in the classroom. Children with ASD or autism communicate differently, so being open to having different ways of communication is a great and easy strategy to make everyone feel welcomed and belong in the classroom. Understanding the spectrum and understanding that no two children in your care are the same. The term spectrum reflects the wide variety of characteristics and functioning levels among individuals with autism or ASD. For example, on one end of the spectrum, a child could have moderate communication and social skills, whereas on the other end, a child could be totally nonverbal. However, both are considered autism, and as educators, we need to understand that autism is not a clear scale and that it is quite complex and has many factors. As an educator in the classroom, it's important to understand what to look for. At an early age, some children might be undiagnosed, so observation is critical in the classroom. Something to look for could be delayed milestones. For example, you might see a child falling behind in fine or gross motor skills, or it could be difficulties communicating or sporadic behaviors. Communication is an essential factor when speaking about autism, especially in the classroom. Some children on the spectrum have difficulties verbally and need assistance. Others don't have issues communicating, whereas some get frustrated when trying to convey how they feel. Some ways we will see that is children putting their hands over their ears as they're having a hard time communicating. Sometimes this could be frustrating. Children sometimes have visual and communicational devices such as PECs, schedules, emotion charts, and pictures. Early intervention is an essential for early childhood educators. Early intervention for children with autism is critical for a variety of reasons. For starters, it allows us to address developmental delays and difficulties for the parent and for the family doctor. And according to research, early intensive intervention can result in considerable improvements for a child's success. As an educator, having a structured routine in the classroom is essential, not just for children with autism, but for the whole classroom. It creates all of the children to be on the same page, and creating a predictable, regulated schedule can help a child feel more safe and less in anxiety, specifically for children with autism, because transitions in those transition times can be a little bit frustrating and makes them anxious. Getting a grasp on behaviors in the classroom is essential for all children, but especially when children with autism are present. Strategies I would suggest or making sure that other children are not being discriminatory to others with exceptionalities. Ensuring the whole class understands that everybody is different in a good way and that some of our friends might act differently. So make sure they understand that part so there's no discriminatory actions or comments made in the classroom. Creating an accessible classroom for inclusivity is essential and recommended in all classrooms. However, especially important for those classes with children with autism. Children have different sensitivities such as lights, chairs, objects, just because of sensory issues that come along with autism. So making sure that children have accommodations and things that make them feel comfortable in the classroom is crucial, such as bouncy balls, fidget spinners, fidget toys, and anything that's recommended by the parents could be involved in the classroom. Collaborating with families is very important and a big strategy in the classroom for all children, but especially children with autism. Doing things like reaching out using the classroom app, parent-teacher meetings, all these things can make transitions easier for the child and the parent to make them feel more comfortable. Building relationships with families creates better communication involving the child, which in turn creates better success. Understanding IEPs, individual education plans, is crucial for an educator in the classroom. All children could have an IEP depending on their needs. However, for children with autism, it usually looks like a comprehensive individual plan designed specifically for their needs. This can promote their academic and social development and ensures success in the classroom. Effectively helping a child and their family with a new diagnosis of autism is crucial, especially as an early childhood educator. We are dealing with children at early ages, which means some families are new to the diagnosis or not yet knowing the diagnosis. So being empathetic, supportive, and help guide and navigate their child to success is our number one role. As an early childhood educator, we are not allowed to diagnose a child with autism. However, we can approach parents nicely and let them know about our concerns and create a program plan from there. Sometimes, without knowing it, you can be the most helpful person to the family, as they're in your care majority of the day, and their success should be your number one priority. Some strategies to making transitions from classrooms or schools for children with autism more easy could look like using visual supports, preparing them with visual schedules, allowing them and giving them cues for transition times, and honestly just supporting and being empathetic during those times. For example, holding hands, letting them know in advance, or giving them a buddy to move classrooms. Additionally, providing sensory support during these times could help calm the child and promote smoother transition. Finally, offering positive reinforcement can praise successful transitions. And being observant, early childhood educators need to Observe each child and understand their needs, especially regarding autism. By closely studying a child's behaviors and relationships with other children and responses to numerous stimulants, educators can better support the growth and personalize their own education requirements towards that child. Observing helps educators identify and develop milestones and identify potential issues. This can help better the child's learning and their successful needs. Assessing a child's progress throughout the school year is important as an educator. Seeing where their weaknesses and strengths are throughout the year while learning helps build a better IEP for the child, individually helping working on their successes and strengths. This is also important to report back to the parents and family doctor to help build a better individual plan. Positive reinforcement is especially beneficial for children with autism since it motivates, encourages, and supports desired behaviors while also fostering learning and developing positive attributes. Children often respond very positively to these reinforcements. They feel valued and appreciated for their efforts. Educators can effectively use reinforcements to encourage social interaction, academic skills, while also helping a child develop self-esteem and confidence in the making. Oftentimes we see as educators children with autism having sensory overloads. This is when they are overstimulated in the classroom. Things such as noise, taste, touch overstimulates them. So in the classroom, a modification we can make or add is pasta, sand, stuff they can touch that stimulates them in good ways, and could be very calming to them. A strategy that works in the classroom is consistency. Having the same schedule or activities run the same time every day allows children to get used to it. As the schedule becomes predictable, transitions become to run more smooth. Things like transitions for children with autism can be very stressful, so having a predictable and consistent day allows them to build more of a schedule and allows them to know what's coming next as it's been practiced every day. I believe as an educator, we can never learn enough about our students and exceptionalities. I want to be able to teach my best and support children my best. So doing things like conferences, workshops, and interventions are really important to me to learn more about children as they constantly grow and change. Things like policies can always change, and also ways to support can always change. So knowing my best is doing my best.